I just built a $7,500 mining rig specifically focused on mining Ergo, Flux and Ravencoin when we can no longer mine Ethereum. And in this video I'm going to share my calculations of exactly how much money this rig could potentially make in different scenarios. And I'm also going to share the links to my pool dashboards so that you guys can track just how much we're mining of each coin. Warning, there are people pretending to be me in the comments and on social platforms. I'll never ask you to add me on WhatsApp or Telegram, and I'll never ask you to send me money, crypto, or your personal information. Alright? So please be careful, use your common sense, and don't let any of these imposters fool you. Alright? Now back to the video. Hey, how's it going, GPU heads? Thanks for clicking on my video. 𝐬𝐷𝐻𝐿 here. And about a week ago I posted a video of building this mining rig and what my plan for it is. In short, I got 4 3070s for mining Ergo, 4 2080 Ti's for mining Flux, and 4 6700 XTs for mining Ravencoin. And I also got one of these iPollo miners for mining Ethereum Classic. By the way, link and discount code to get one of those at Jingle Mining is in the description. But if you want to learn more about why I went with this specific mining setup, then check out my previous video. I'll leave a link to that up in the corner there, as well as in the description of the video. But basically the plan today is to set this all up to mine and then share the links with you guys to the Herominers pool dashboards so that you can track the progress of how much we're mining live. And my reason for doing this is basically for those of you who are very curious what would happen if you were to invest in a rig right now but aren't really comfortable taking that kind of a risk. So it's basically me taking that risk for you guys and then bringing you along on the ride with me. So let's set this all up for mining and then let's do some calculations of how much this rig could potentially make in different scenarios. And also thank you Minerdude and Herominers for sponsoring this video series. More about them a little bit later. Alright, so we're over here on the computer. I got the rig up and running, as you can probably hear in the recording. I don't know, is the fan noise getting picked up in the microphone or not? Anyway, yeah, we're over here on the 𝐻𝐻𝐼 interface and you can see all of the cards and all the hash rates and all of the overclock settings here. First of all, you can see 3070s, really simple overclocks. They all take the same and they all give about the same results. As for AMD, of course it's really tricky, but thank you so much to 𝐂𝐴𝐻 a fellow YouTuber. By the way, go check out his channel. We just did a video where he basically taught me and you guys along with it how to overclock AMD GPUs to get like super good efficiency. And that's what we've done here. So as you can see, we're getting around 25 megahash on all of the 6700 XTs, and the power consumption as shown in the software is around 80 watts. You can see one of them is pulling a little bit more and one of them is pulling a little bit less. That's just down to silicon lottery. Some, cards do a little bit better and some do a little bit worse. And you can see that in the settings here, where the first card could go a little bit lower on the controller voltage, while the other three needed a little bit more. And then the fourth card needed significantly more memory voltage as well as a bit more SoC voltage as well. And then finally, you can definitely see the difference silicon lottery can make on the 2080 Ti's mining Flux here. So of course I got 2 of them with Samsung memory, and those are just shredding, getting like 88, 89 solutions per second. But then of course I have the 2 micron memory ones and same overclocks. Well, no, not same overclocks actually, because if I put the same overclock for them, they will crash. So I have to basically tune them down a little bit to the point where they're getting about 5 megahash less for pretty much the same wattage. But that's just the luck of the draw, isn't it? But yeah, there you go, all of the sort of results in terms of performance. I got the flight sheet here, as you can see, with the 3 coins all set up. If you want to know exactly how to set up a flight sheet for mining multiple coins on the same mining rig, I actually went through that in the previous video in this video series. And then of course I'm also up and running on the little mini ASIC for Ethereum Classic. You can see the interface of that here, currently getting around 320 megahash. And I am also up and mining on the pool here. You can see that here, but I figure what I will probably do is I'll overlay some screenshots from the pool from tomorrow morning when I'm editing this, because now it's only been mining for like a few minutes and there is not much on here. So I'll put some screenshots up from when it's been mining for like 10 hours or so. And what I'll do is I'll leave all those links in the video description so that you guys can follow along how much we're mining on the Herominers pool dashboards. And Herominers have made the decision to sponsor this video series so that they can tell you that basically they're doing everything they can to help you guys stay profitable mining after the Ethereum merge. Not only by supporting a big amount of mineable coins with server locations in over 12 different countries to make sure that you have a great connection no matter where in the world you're mining from, but they're also doing 0 fees throughout all of September on Ergo, Flux, Ethereum Classic, Ravencoin, and �W𝐢𝐳𝐞. That means no block reward fees, no parallel asset fees on current and future parallel assets, which, by the way, they pay out current parallel assets on Flux immediately, so you don't have to wait. And finally, no payout fees either. But as if that wasn't enough, they're also doing 5 different giveaways for a total of $1,500 in September to people mining Ethereum Classic, Ergo, Flux, or Ravencoin on their pool. To learn more about those giveaways, check out the pinned comment below this video. And speaking of Ergo, they also unlock blocks after just 72 confirmations instead of 720 like it's coded in Ergo. That means that you'll get your Ergo rewards 10 times faster. Of course, they got everything else you'd expect from such a high quality pool, like nice stats and charts, ready-made batch files to help you connect the mining software to the pool, mining rig rentals and nice hash support, the option to mine in a pool or solo, the list goes on and on. So when time comes for you to switch from Ethereum to another coin, make sure you check them out at herominers.com or by clicking the link in the video description. Alright, so let's have a look at a few different scenarios and see how much money this mining rig could potentially make. And first, let's just talk about the worst possible scenario, right? Which would be that all crypto dies, all coins go to 0 and you can't even mine anymore. And in that scenario, well, I still have 12 GPUs that I can sell, which, you know, I bought these secondhand, I could just sell them again secondhand. Now, probably at some sort of loss because, you know, if mining completely dies, secondhand GPU market is probably gonna be a bit flooded, but I did intentionally get pretty cool GPUs, so hopefully gamers should still be interested in buying them. Alright, so next up, let's talk about what this mining setup is making currently, right? Now, I know that that will most likely change when Ethereum mining ends, but I still do want to check this now just so that we can have sort of a snapshot of how much this rig was actually making before the Ethereum merge that we can then look back on in future episodes. Alright, so basically what I've done is I've just taken all of the numbers here from 𝐻𝐻𝐷 and I've plugged them into my own little spreadsheet here. And as you can see here, you got the hash rate I'm getting for all these coins that we saw in 𝐻𝐻𝐼𝐻 just a minute ago. We then have the yield, as in how many coins we're making per day for all of them. We then can put in how many days we want to be mining and then what the total yield would be. So basically just the daily yield times the amount of days we've mined, right? And then we also have the sell price here. So these are the current prices for these 4 coins. And then finally, you know, what the revenue would be if we were to sell the coins we've mined at the price we've entered and how much that would be worth in terms of dollar value. And then all of those numbers together for the total revenue for the rig, right? So we can see currently this mining setup makes us about $17.40 every single day. Of course, before power cost. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But that is our snapshot of how much this mining setup is making currently. Now, the next scenario I want to have a look at is, let's say that prices stay roughly where they are right now. And let's say when Ethereum mining ends, that enough hash rate moves over from Ethereum to these coins to make it so that they're just a little bit profitable still, making about $1 per day per coin. And so we have the next part of the spreadsheet here with being just a bit profitable. And I'm going to show you how to calculate the mining yield based on a scenario like that using 𝐻𝐻𝐷. And I'm just going to show you how to do that once, and then I'm just going to do it for all of the other coins so that I don't waste your time in this video, okay? So what you do is you go to 𝐻𝐻𝐷, you click on coins, you find the coin you want to check. So let's start with Flux. And we enter our hash rate here, which was 345 solutions per second at around 880 watts. And if we just hit calculate, we get what the yield would be currently per day, right? 5.27 or something. But then to mimic hash rate coming onto the network, we have to increase the difficulty here. So we'll enable this setting, and then it's just a matter of kind of trying different numbers here, increasing it until we hit the sort of daily profit that we're expecting. So maybe something around there, no, a little bit more, a little bit less, and there we're at about $1 in terms of profit a day for the Flux part of this mining setup. And then we can see what the estimated daily rewards would be there, so we can just copy that and paste that into this field here, yield per day. And there you go. Now I'm just going to do that exact same thing for the remaining 3 coins, and I'll check back with you then. Alright, so that's done, and as we can see, we're getting about half the amount of coins per day in comparison to our previous scenario. And if we were to sell at the coin prices that we have, you know, currently as of recording this, that means we would make a total revenue of about $9 per day before, you know, power cost. Now there is one more scenario I want to talk about, which, yeah, we've seen a little bit of a run up in crypto prices this last week or two. What if that comes down to where we were before again? So prices come down again, and then we also see more of a hash rate move from Ethereum to these coins, where basically this rig is just about profitable. So I'll enter those numbers and we'll see what we get. So I'll show you how to get the yield numbers for a scenario like this using 𝐻𝗦𝗛 for one of the coins, and then I'll do the remaining 3 coins off camera. So obviously the first thing we need to do is come to 𝐻𝗦𝗛, and let's do it for Ergo this time. So I'll go to coins and hit Ergo, there we go. And then of course the first thing I need to do is fill in our hash rate and power, which is 626 mega hash at 475 watts. I need to fill in my power cost, which is 14 cents per kilowatt hour. And the next thing I need to do is figure out the price of the coin, right? So to do that, I go to good old coinmarketcap.com. And as we can see here, we're on Ergo, which is currently worth $4.74. And what I'm looking at here is basically what did it dip down to now just recently in the little market downtrend we had before this little run up we've had recently. And it seems like it was down at $1.68. So then what I have to do is basically take $1.68 and I need to divide that by the current price, which is $4.74. And basically I get a percentage here around 35.4%. And what I need to do now is I need to come back to 𝐻𝗦𝗛, because the way 𝐻𝗦𝗛 calculates profitability is everything goes through Bitcoin. So to change the price of a coin, you basically need to change the price of Bitcoin. So we'll enable this here, and we can see 𝐻𝗦𝗛 currently says that a Bitcoin is worth $19,303.15. So what I have to do now is just multiply this percentage that we got by $19,303.15. And that gives us the Bitcoin price that we need to enter into this field. So I'll just do 0.2 there. And basically this gives the exact same result as if Ergo were to go down to $1.68. So let's hit calculate. And then what I need to do is I'll just need to change this difficulty until we're just about profitable. And by just about profitable, I'm thinking like 10 cents a day per GPU. That seems fair to me. So I'll just swap this number around a little bit until we get to 40 cents out there. So somewhere around here. So roughly here. And then I just take this estimated rewards number here and I paste that into our spreadsheet like this. And then finally, the last thing I need to do is just enter the sell coin price here, which we said was $1.68. And now I'll just do the same thing for the remaining 3 coins off camera, and then we'll see what we get. All right, so that is all done. You can see the yield per day on the screen here, and basically the total revenue per day in this scenario would be about $9 per day, you know, before power cost. But there are 2 things we haven't really talked about yet, which is how long we're gonna be mining for and what price we're actually gonna be selling the coins at. Because in mining, profitability is actually not dictated by the coin price on the day you mine the coin, but rather by the coin price on the day you sell the coin. Now, nobody can know the future, and you're free to believe whatever you want about where crypto prices will go in the future. And my personal opinion, not financial advice by the way, is that whatever the highest price has been on these coins previously, they will reach that again and probably surpass it within the next 3 years. And let me show you why I think that. So to do that, let's have a look at CoinMarketCap again, and let's have a look at the historical price of Bitcoin. So we can see here, we obviously had a run up in price of Bitcoin and basically all of the other altcoins as well around 2018. You can see that there, right? And then again, we had another big run up around 2021, 2022 basically, right? But if we zoom in here, we can see that there was also a run up around 2014. So we had 2014, we had 2018, and then we had 2022. So every 4 years basically. And why is that? Well, it just so happens that Bitcoin has a block reward halving basically every 3.5 to 4 years. And also it just so happens that every single one of these massive run-ups have been just around the time that Bitcoin had another block reward halving. And if we have a look at the coins that we are mining on this rig, like Ergo for example, we can see that the same thing happened there. It had a big run-up in 2018 and another run-up around 2022. And as we can see on these coins, every time they have a run-up, they either reach the same price levels as they did in the previous run-up, or they surpass it, like Ethereum Classic did here. And we can see that on Ravencoin here as well, and Flux definitely had a much bigger run-up this second time, right? And so that's why I'm just super curious to try what that scenario would actually look like. So let's say that we mine steadily until when we predict this next run-up to be, which would be 2026, which is just about a little bit more than 3 years away from right now. And let's say that these coin prices hit the same as their previous all-time high once again. So to do that, let's use our last scenario here, where the rig is barely profitable after the Ethereum merge. And then let's just say that we're mining all the way up until 2026, which would be about 3 years, right? So let's say days mining would be 365 times 3 for a full 3 years. And we do that on all 4 coins, right? And then our sell coin price, let's change that to our previous all-time high. So let's say that whatever was the highest price these coins reached previously, they reached those prices again. So let's start by having a look at Ethereum Classic, which reached all the way up to around $135. So let's just put that in, 135. Then let's go Ravencoin, which reached about 24 cents. And then for Ergo, we had, let's go with this peak here, which was $18.80. And finally, we got Flux, which reached about $3.10. And we can see that after mining on this rig for about 3 years, we would revenue about $100,000 on this rig. And take into account that is it being barely profitable for about 3 years of mining, and then the prices shooting up, kind of like we've seen it do in the past for all of these coins, right? And timing our sell perfectly, selling at the new all-time high. But as I'm sure you noticed, I haven't taken power cost into account yet. And this is where it really comes in handy that Minerdude is sponsoring this video series, since one of the features of the Minerdude survey case is the built-in power meters that give you the exact at-the-wall power draw of the whole mining rig. The reason this matters is because the reported wattage by your GPU in the software is often incorrect. And also keep in mind that doesn't take into account the rest of the power consumption of your rig, like the CPU, fans and motherboard. But since the Minerdude survey case measures the full power consumption of the whole rig and reports it right inside the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐼 interface, when I go on to do the rest of my calculations here in just a minute, I can know for a fact that my calculated power cost for the rig will be 100% accurate. And if you guys want to get one of these survey cases, they're available at minerdude.com, and they have both their 8 GPU and 12 GPU survey cases in stock and ready to deliver. And since they have no limit for minimum order quantity, you can buy just one if you so choose. They're also based 100% inside the US, which means that deliveries inside the United States usually only take 1 to 5 days. And you can pay through crypto, wire transfer and credit or debit card. But now, let's have a look at the power cost for this rig. Alright, so let's enter in our power consumption and see just how much we would make after power cost, right? How much we would actually profit in all these 3 scenarios. So first, let's go with the current profitability one. And if I just open up here, I have some extra sections here. And thanks to the Minerdude survey case, I know that our mining rig pulls 1750 watts from the wall pretty much exactly. And I also know that the iPollo little Ethereum Classic miner pulls 250 watts. So it just so happens to be perfectly 2000 watts, right? And that means the total kilowatt hours per day is 48, and my electricity price, as I've said, is 14 cents per kilowatt hour. And that means that currently the total profit per day using today's number for this rig is about $10.69. And moving on to the next scenario, which is the rig being a little bit profitable after the Ethereum merge, making about $1 or so per coin per day. And if we just enter the power here, 2000 watts, And actually I realized that I made a little bit of a mistake earlier, because when I did the difficulty calculations, only used 10 cents per kilowatt hour rather than the 14 cents that I pay. So for me in this scenario, I would actually make about $2.27 due to my slightly higher power cost than what I initially entered in what to mine. Now finally, we have, of course, you're barely profitable, but you're mining for a full 3 years, and then the prices go back up to their all-time high again, and you time selling that perfectly. Where our revenue, of course, would be $97,000, almost 100K. But of course, the power draw is 2,000 watts per day, which means at 14 cents per kilowatt hour, we end up with the profit of $89,753.58, which is not too bad for a $7,500 mining rig. But that's it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it one of these. And if you really liked it, you can now join the channel to help support what I do here. It really does make a big difference, and it means a lot to me, so thank you. And as a bonus, if you do decide to join, you also get access to our private Discord chat room, and I love talking with you guys in there. But what you gotta do now is you gotta click on one of those videos on the screen, because this video is over. You can also click the picture on my face to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, go click on that next video and I'll see you there. Goodbye. Goodbye, bye bye.